You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. Well, Keith Olbermann, the former and famed ESPN Sportscenter anchor that used to be part of the Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann legendary duo, back in the late 80s, early 90s, when ESPN was great, well, he has decided to jump in head first with his lunatic left-wing woke politics straight into the Sage Steele lawsuit saga. Yeah, as he's decided to brave, stunning, and courageously get involved. I mean, not sure why, but he has decided to get involved nonetheless. And I'm sure because Sage is an outspoken conservative, and she's filed a lawsuit claiming ESPN, of course, has violated her free speech. And he's decided to weigh in to try to assist the Marxist ESPN of China. Let's take a look at this. Left-wing journalist Keith Olbermann has offered to help ESPN management in its legal battle with Sage Steele, who is suing the Disney-owned company after she was benched for remarks criticizing vaccine mandates and former President Barack Obama. Steele suggested on former NFL player Jay Cutler's Uncut podcast that she was, quote, forced to get the COVID vaccine for fear of losing her job. That became very public and a very big deal we covered on this channel. I didn't want to do it, but I work for a company that mandates it, and I had until September 30th to get it done, or I was out, Steele told Cutler in September. In another instance, Steele spoke about wanting the option to fill out multiple races on the U.S. Census form instead of a single race. Quote, if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? And I go, both. She's like, well, you can't, Steele said. She goes, Barack Obama chose black, and he's biracial. And I'm like, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, and his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you, and I'm going to do me. Wow. Sage Steele is not one to hide her feelings. The Wall Street Journal first reported Steele filed a lawsuit against the famed sports network, claiming the network breached her contract and violated her First Amendment rights by temporarily benching the anchor and forcing her to apologize. But Olbermann, a staunch progressive who voluntarily left his own gig at ESPN to rail against former President Trump on YouTube, has sided with Disney-owned sports giant over his former colleague. Quote, mark my words carefully. How can I help ESPN management here? Keith Olbermann tweeted in response to the Wall Street Journal media reporter Joe Flint discussing the lawsuit. In a follow-up tweet, Olbermann appeared to try to do ESPN's legal homework for them when he pushed back on the claim that the company, quote, violated Connecticut law and that Steele's First Amendment rights based on a, quote, non-existent, unenforced workplace policy that serves nothing more than pretext. This part here is bullshit. This was enforced in every direction. Management once asked me to take down a tweet critical of Philippines political strongman Duterte. I mean Duterte. In a statement to Fox News, ESPN said Sage remains a valued contributor on ESPN's highest profile content, including recent Masters telecasts and anchoring the noon Sports Center. The network also said Sage was never suspended as a result of her comments, is seeking unspecified damages. And in case you're wondering why Keith Olbermann would use this word, deterrent, well, this is in regards to Philippines president Rodrigo Duterte, okay? And this term has become part of the Urban Dictionary, okay? And for some, and we know Urban Dictionary can have multiple definitions for something, but what he is essentially trying to say here when he puts that in caps, is that essentially Sage Steele is willing to go out there and talk until somebody decides to challenge her, and then she will become a turncoat, coward, and run the other way and not be brave, not follow through. Okay, that's essentially kind of what he's trying to say, because that's what the Philippine president was once sort of labeled as. His last name is Duterte, okay? So that's Keith Olbermann essentially slamming Sage Steele and saying that if she is challenged on this, she is going to lose. We will find out. I'm not so sure about that, Keith Olbermann. Okay? I mean, look, it's pretty well known. ESPN's kind of like old Twitter was, where it was pretty well known what side of the political aisle they're laying in the weeds. And people like Sage Steele, for lack of a better way of putting it, with the direction of ESPN, people of her political ilk are no longer welcome at ESPN. She has said she's been bullied over there. Why? Because so many of the employees are woke. We're seeing that, and we're hearing about that with Disney as well. So, tell me what you think. Black and white sports fans, of course Keith Olbermann is going to try to jump in on this when it's really none of his damn business whatsoever. Just being honest. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.